Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Crosswind Harmonica. I am veteran Wing Commander Anup Banerjee and I'd like to ask you if you have ever wondered why a person would want to move out of the cozy comfort of his home and indulge in adventurism. Extreme adventure, extreme sports, extreme risks. Why would one want to do that? Well, in hindsight, I have indulged in some extreme adventurism myself, but that story must remain for some other day. Today, I would like you to meet a good friend and a coursemate of mine, Gp Capt P Murthy, who has left the comfort zone of his home, of his officer's mess accommodation as a bachelor, and set out to climb mountains, skiing down a mountain slope, river rafting, jumping out of aeroplanes to get his parawings, skydiving, horse riding and being good at it, motorcycling expedition into the mountains when he was in his late 50s, and training for and indulging in Himalayan Car Rally. You've all heard of this. It's one of the world's most extreme mountain car driving expeditions, and at every hairpin bend there is death staring you in the face. Well, he's done all of these and come away unscathed, safe and sound, and brought laurels to the Air Force to which he belongs, and has added many feathers in his cap. I would be remiss if I did not mention the icing on the cake for P. Murthy. He was detailed to undergo the high altitude warfare course along with the Army commandos at High Altitude Warfare School at Gulmarg at a very young age. He was the only officer then and till date who has ever undergone this course, which in itself is a huge feather in his cap. And he conducted it successfully and passed out with all the army officers who trained to be commandos, some of whom had already done the jungle warfare course. So they were all hardened, well trained. But Murthy managed to hold his own and came out with flying colors at a time when the Air Force had not formed the Garud commando force for the Air Force. So he is a pioneer at his time and at his age. Today, probably this is a normal course for all those Air Force commandos who are inducted. I want you to sit back and enjoy this video that I have made of his extreme sports and extreme adventurism, which he has done so successfully. Murthy did his post-graduation from IIT Roorkee in radiochemistry and also did his basic and advanced mountaineering course and trekking course. After having joined the Air Force as a young officer, he was motivated to do a few mountaineering expeditions with the Air Force team. But his greatest ambition was to climb Mt Kedarnath, and with that determination and that vision, he set off on an expedition with the Air Force team to climb Mt Kedarnath peak. You can see from these visuals the difficulty of the climb, the difficulty of the terrain, completely snowbound every step of the way. The climbing gear that was required, the winter clothing, the blinding sunlight, deep snow and ice, blistering, strong winds above 80 to 90 kilometers per hour. You can see low clouds and fog covering every square inch of the terrain. And of course, the blizzards that blow through that area at such heights. If you're not careful, you could get severely frostbitten. Every step of the way is a very arduous task, and every little peak or a mount is a massive effort. As you can see, strong winds blowing through the mountains. The young Murthy, probably the youngest of the team, is lugging all that mountain gear. And after days they have made it to the top. There he is on Mt Kedarnath. And the Air Force flag is flying there proudly for the Air Force. It's a feather in his cap, feather in the cap of the Air Force. And now must begin to see the snow-clad mountains. And the clouds always, the peaks shrouded in clouds and snow. There they are, the team with their skis, preparing to ski down. That was their intention of proving a point that they could ski down. There you see him skiing down the mountain. He's also done the skiing course, and as you can see, his control over his movements, his muscles, his coordination. There they are heading towards the base camp, descended. What an achievement. A real ostrich feather in his cap and bringing laurels to the Air Force. So well, he's off on another adventure, and this time it's whitewater rafting in Rishikesh. It's one of the world's most famous whitewater rafting sites, and Murthy must have a piece of this action. So there he is on the river. As you will see, it is certainly one of the most dangerous water sports. Not only does it require you to have control over your movements, your muscles, your hand-eye coordination, your reflexes, but it also requires tremendous amount of cooperation when you have to go down these massive rapids, these dangerous rapids, in a raft full of other rowers who are there with you. It is highly unstable and highly unpredictable. As you can see from these visuals, the boat has turned over after hitting a rough patch on the rapids. Now, if you aren't a good swimmer, if you've lost your courage, you could as well be swept away and drown. But as you see, this team spirit, this cooperation is absolutely mandatory, necessary to survive in a situation like this. The boat had capsized, the raft had capsized, now it's being brought back onto an even keel, and a great struggle will be required for all the members to get onto the boat, which they have successfully. As you can see, there they hit another rapid. This white foaming, churning river is something that you cannot foresee, cannot predict where it will capsize you, where it will let you sail smooth. There they have crossed the basic stretch of dangerous rapids, and it is a spirit of comradeship that sees you through safely on expeditions like this. Impressed with Murthy's zeal, his capabilities, his guts, gumption, grit and determination, and his capabilities, the Air Force deputed him to do this high altitude mountain warfare course at Gulmarg, Oz they call it. I won't say much. You can see from the visuals itself that it's the world's toughest high altitude course that trains commandos who have to take care of our borders at high altitudes. This is well before the Air Force Garud Force was formed.
The soldiers who are coming here to get trained are the part of unit training team which are deployed all along the mountains. So once they come here, they undergo the training of Mountain Warfare Series and the Winter Warfare Series. After conclusion of the training, they move back to their respective units and they train the other soldiers of their respective units on the same aspects on which they are being trained here. As I brought out, there are two courses which are being conducted here at the High 2 Warfare School. For the basic course, the intake is 180 students, and for the advanced course, the intake is around 100 students.
From these visuals, you can see for yourself that it is a very, very tough, grueling course that tests the best of men, and the dropout rate is high. And if Murthy has successfully completed the course, it speaks for itself about his grit, his mental attitude, his gumption, his determination, physical endurance and strength, and above all, his comradeship, the spirit, the team spirit that ultimately helps you to complete such grueling courses. Well, here he is clocking another extreme sport, a high endurance, tough, grueling mountain driving expedition called the Himalayan Car Rally. There he is racing on those hairpin bends to be able to reach the next point for refueling. As you can see, this is one of the world's toughest mountain driving expeditions, and he had to clock this and put it under his belt.